It's a little earlier than what we normally do, but we'll get Sonia here. We're going to be talking about insurance today. But insurance is something I bet you didn't know was a huge problem, and that is the dog bite.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We briefly talked about this last week, and then during the week, somebody that heard us talking asked me, is that really covered on your insurance if your dog bites somebody? And ironically enough, this week is also Dog Bite Awareness and Prevention Week, which I didn't know there was such a thing, but there is.
There's a week for everything.
There's a week for everything. I think that's true. So I thought, well, that'd be a good thing for us to talk about. And we'll get to the insurance question at the end there. But one thing that I found interesting is the statistics that insurance claims against dog bites. That means claims that have been turned in because somebody's dog bit somebody else are up 18% this last year. And the average attack cost is up 70%. So it's still happening, and it's something that, people should be aware of. It's kind of, you always think, who do you think of on television that the dog's going to bite? The mailman, and that
Yes.
and that seems like I guess we should say letter carrier now. That seems like a joke, but actually it still happens. Over 200, no, I'm sorry, it increased last year by 200. Last year, 6,755 letter carriers were attacked by dogs, according to the U.S. Postal Service.
My goodness.
So there's some things that you can do to prevent that, of course.
Maybe we need to change these dogs' food or something. They're getting
Maybe
a little aggressive.
so. Our dog, just all she does is eat. So maybe people should feed theirs what we feed Nacho.
Our dog is too old.
Yeah, I know. But, obviously proper training is important. And then teach your kids about approaching a dog, because I'm certainly no dog expert, but I think a lot of times when they do bite, it's because they feel scared, they feel like somebody's threatened. Yeah. So teach your kids, don't just go up to a dog just because your dog at home is sweet doesn't mean you should go up, and then you want to do what you can to train your animals, and of course keep them inside your yard if possible. You don't want your dog to attack somebody or hurt somebody. And then as far as the question about insurance goes, yes, if you do have a homeowner's policy or a renter's policy, which gives you liability coverage, most of the forms include coverage for a dog bite. If your dog bites a visitor, there's medical payments up to a certain limit, and then if it becomes a liability issue where they sue you because your dog attacked them, then there would be coverage. You need to talk to your agent and make sure that your policy doesn't exclude that. There are some companies, just a few, that exclude certain breeds of dogs, and then some companies just won't write insurance for people if they have certain breeds of dogs. But that's something that if you have a dog, you should, of course, do what you can to prevent that. Nobody wants that to happen, but if it does, you do need to talk to your insurance agent and make sure you have coverage for that.
I don't want to get into a debate with anybody about certain breeds of dogs.
No, me either.
Any dog out there can be aggressive, just depending on the dog. And breeds don't make a huge difference, as far as that stuff goes. But the thing is, if you're a homeowner and you know that you have an aggressive dog, that's one that you need to keep an eye on. Also, I don't know if posting a sign saying beware a dog really gets you out of any kind of liability.
Well, that's more of a legal question, but it sure can't hurt. If you do your very best to warn people that there is a dog, maybe you do keep it in the backyard and that dog can't get out, but somebody goes into your backyard, well, of course they probably shouldn't be going into your backyard, but if you have a big sign posted, that can't hurt. Anything that you can do to avoid the accident in the first place is great. And the question, why would my insurance cover that? Well, if that is your animal, you own that animal, you're responsible for it. Mm-hmm. So, and pets can be unpredictable, just like humans can be unpredictable, but pets certainly can. And so you do need to be responsible and do what you can to keep that pet from harming anyone else.
Hey, we have a very aggressive cat at our house. Can I sue the homeowner for damages when that cat bites me?
Yeah, but you're the homeowner, so that would be kind of...
Wouldn't be any good.
No, wouldn't do any good.
Wouldn't do any good. Okay, I'm just checking.
And that brought up something, people say, well, I don't own a home, so how can I get insurance? Well, you can get renter's insurance, which is very inexpensive and will provide that same liability that a homeowner's policy would.
I don't know. I've never... you hear about them every once in a while, like a really bad dog attack on people, but the run of the mill just a bite, from a dog I guess medical costs are your biggest problem.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, heaven forbid it's a stranger that they buy it or a friend that they buy it, and then they decide, oh, I could make some money off of that and hire a lawyer, and that anything like that is going to increase costs. But yeah, medical costs are going up, and so that is going to make those go up. But you just need to, if an animal does bite you or someone, if your animal bites someone, you do need to make sure that they do get the proper medical attention so it doesn't become worse.
Now, does this cover, having this homeowners policy kind of deal, does it cover any kind of animal bite?
Unless the company has added some type of exclusion, if you own that animal, it's your animal, then you're responsible for it, and so it would be covered under your liability insurance on your policy.
So I was at a guy's house one time and his pig bit me on a foot.
I remember that.
Would that be covered?
It would have been if you would have
See,
suffered.
there you go.
Yeah, if you would have suffered damages, which you did not, thank goodness.
No, I just suffered scareness is all I suffered. But I'm just saying is that I guess if you have any kind of an animal, not just we're just talking dogs, because that's usually the one we all immediately think about. But any kind of animal that does harm somebody, I mean, your homeowner's policy is one that's going to have to kick in.
Yeah, and there's something that we didn't talk about that we should have, and I guess it hopefully should go without saying. Make sure your pets have their shots, because that if they bite somebody and they haven't had their shots, it could turn into something much worse than just cleaning that off and keeping them from getting an infection.
We have a very cool station mascot dog. You know that?
Oh no, I did not know that.
Yes, Jasper.
Jasper.
He is a very cool dog. He's a chocolate lab, and watching Jasper in action, he's really, really nice and sweet around here. But you don't want to walk up on him or anything like in a truck or his home or anything like that. That is something that people need to be aware of. Is that as a human being, don't provoke a situation where you do get bit.
That's true, and I think if Jasper's the sweet little dog you're talking about, I think he was a rescue dog.
Yes.
And so that's another thing. A lot of people, and it's such a good thing to do, is to get a dog that's rescued. But you need to keep in mind that you don't know what happened to that animal before you got it too.
So yeah, just be aware of these facts, and it'll help you out a whole lot more. Now, if someone has an aggressive dog, if they don't know that if they're or an animal, either way, if they don't know if their policy would cover something like that, do they need to call?
Yes, you can call us. You need to talk to your agent, but of course, we welcome anyone to call us. We'd love to go over your policies with you. You can call us at 940-549-2525. You can come see us on the second floor of the Sierra Bank Building in downtown Graham, or visit us online, www.bryanins.com.
So go check it out at Bryan Insurance. You'll be glad you did.